passionate as Harry Brar is, who is Deputy Director of Nassau County Office of Asian American Affairs. And you see a special glow on his face, successful completion of Asian American Excellence Award. How do you feel? Relieved?
Like I'm finally going to get a full night's rest after about 2 weeks, but no, this was an amazing event, and I could not have done it without my partner, Aruj Islam, the Executive Director. I could not have done it without the support of County Executive Bruce Blakeman. So anything we do, it's really what the County Executive wants us to do. So we're very fortunate to live in an area where the County Executive is so intent on elevating our South Asian and Pacific Asian and Asian communities in general.
With a collective effort, there is so much we can accomplish together. We are hardworking, intelligent, strong, resilient. We fought discrimination, but we continue to give back to our community and do great work. We've been excluded, but we've continued to contribute. And we need great leaders. We have County Executive Bruce Blakeman doing an amazing job, and that's the type of leadership we need.
This month is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. And as I've said before, we are a snapshot of America. If you look at our population, we have virtually the same percentages of people from all over the country, whether they be based on race, ethnicity, religion. What I'm trying to say is we have a very, very diverse community. And the important thing about it is that we get along, we work together for the common good, and that we all in our own way contribute something to the fabric of this great county. We have 1.4 million residents, which makes us larger in population than 9 states, and our gross domestic product is larger than 140 nations in the United Nations. So this is a very vibrant, strong community, but it's only made better because of you. Because you contribute, whether it be medicine, business, technology, education, the law, community service. Whether you are a religious leader, an educator, it's so important that we make sure that everybody that either lives in Nassau County or does business in Nassau County feels welcome in Nassau County.
But I just want to welcome you here this evening to our beautiful chamber, and I want to thank you for another opportunity to celebrate our diversity here in Nassau County and celebrate the fact that Nassau County is a county where everyone matters and where we are one community. And this is a wonderful opportunity to celebrate all of what makes Nassau County special. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I want to congratulate all of our wonderful honorees. And let's have another big hand. I played the cello, and I mentioned this before. I played the cello for about 2 weeks in the 5th grade. And the reason that I played the cello for about 2 weeks in the 5th grade is because my mom realized very quickly that the cello was much too big for me to take on the school bus, and she was going to have to drive me. So I have an amazing appreciation for the cellist that we had here today, and let's have another big hand for that tremendous performance that we all had an opportunity to hear. But again, I want to thank you for being here this evening. Congratulations to all of our honorees. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless this county we love. Thank you.
With appreciation, more desire to understand the process, how the nominees came about, and if there is any way someone in the community feel that some people from their organization should also be recognized, what is the way that they can reach out to your office?
Well, frankly, there are so many wonderful people here in Nassau County, so we're always going to unfortunately leave somebody out. If we didn't, the bios already tonight went for a while. If we put more people in, we'd still be here. We wouldn't even be halfway done with the program. But we're always looking to spotlight our excellent talent and our excellent leadership here in Nassau County. For anybody who wants to submit somebody else or themselves for recognition from the county executive and from the Office of Asian American Affairs, please reach out to us. You can Google us, and you can also email me directly at hbrar@nassaucountiny.gov. It is our mission to make sure that every community has their time in the sun under this office's tenure.
And lastly, as we speak, we have had an unfortunate shooting incident having taken lives of such innocent kids. From the point of view of security, Nassau County Executive also mentioned, and what do you think are the proactive steps that as common citizens we should be taking?
Well, I think that we are extremely fortunate to live in a county that fully supports law enforcement and first responders. And that is a promise that Bruce Blakeman, the county executive, as well as all other county officials, will always keep. We fully support our law enforcement. We are incredibly fortunate to live in an area with low crime rates, but there's no denying that even here in Nassau County, we've seen tremors of spikes in crime rates. The best thing we can do is make sure that we're communicating with each other, that we're aware of all of the resources and safety vehicles that are available to us. And in general, these are very easy to find because, again, the Nassau County Executive, Bruce Blakeman, has done a wonderful job at securing our county.
Once again, as I thank Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman with you, I would like you to share his way of working and bringing everyone together. Anything that you feel has personally touched or inspired you?
Absolutely. There was something very personal that had happened, actually. Lately, every time that we have an event together, Bruce always asks me about my dad. And, in our communities, there's no greater form of respect than the love and respect we give to our parents. So for Bruce to always ask me about him, always say, make sure that you let me know when he's here, Bruce goes and sees him. Bruce goes and shakes his hand. It's not that my dad has to come to Bruce. And when it comes to personal connections, I truly feel that this county executive has made one with my family, and we couldn't be more proud to be his constituents and to also help him alongside in the Office of Asian American Affairs.
And we are proud to have focused Indian Americans like Harry Brar serving as Deputy Director here. And lots of good wishes and congratulations for successfully organizing Asian American Excellence Award. Thank you. There is important organization, Indian Association of Long Island. President Bina Sabapati ji and Secretary Pradeep Tandon ji are with me here at Asian American Excellence Award ceremony which was held. तो आप लोगों ने यहाँ पर कुछ भारत से रिलेटेड अगर हम कहें छोटी सी एग्जीबिशन जैसी बनाई, ओवरऑल कैसा एक्सपीरियंस रहा आपका यहाँ पे?
ये तो पहले दफ़ा कर रहे हैं काउंटी में. एक्चुअली क्रेडिट गोज टू ब्रूस ब्लेकमैन एंड हैरी ब्रार. दे अरेंज्ड इट. इट्स अ वेरी शॉर्ट नोटिस. वी वांट टू रिप्रेजेंट मोर ऑफ इंडियन आइटम्स हियर. आई नो वी आर मिसिंग कपल ऑफ आइटम्स. सैंडल वी आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग सैंडलवुड. इंडिया इज नोन फॉर सैंडलवुड, brass materials and saris and shawls, all these things, but actually literature wise we didn't get everything. I understand your point. Thank you.
वंडरफुल. सो प्रदीप जी, आपका हिंदी भाषा से भी प्रेम है और यहाँ का अनुभव कैसा लगा आपको? हाउ वाज ओवरऑल, स्पेशली अगर आप क्रिटिकली देखें जब एशियन अमेरिकन्स हैं और अलग अलग कंट्रीज रिप्रेजेंट हो रहे हैं, तो आपको क्या लगता है इंडिया को शोकेस करने के लिए और क्या होना चाहिए?
यहाँ पर हमने अपने आर्टिफैक्ट्स वगैरह अपने घर से लाए. जैसे मैं अपने घर से ब्रास और वो वुडन वर्क्स वगैरह लेके आया. बीना जी यहाँ पर और लोगों ने सामान लेके आए. तो हमने शो को केस किया इंडिया को. इससे ज़्यादा अच्छा कर सकते थे अगर हमें थोड़ा टाइम होता और थोड़ा और लोग जो है इन्वॉल्व होते. लेकिन हम दो जनों ने मिलकर काफ़ी काम किया इसमें.
तो इसमें मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा बीना जी के साथ, प्रदीप जी के साथ में, कि हम लोगों को ज़्यादा एक्टिव होना चाहिए. चाहे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इंडियन एसोसिएशन हो लॉन्ग आइलैंड की और कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हो, अगर हम भारत का प्रतिनिधित्व करना चाहते हैं तो जो कमिटमेंट लेके बीना जी और प्रदीप जी काम कर रहे हैं, ऐसे जो समर्पित हैं इंडियन अमेरिकन, उनका सहयोग करना चाहिए। बीना जी, क्या आपको लगता है जब आप करती हैं तो उसमें क्या आनंद आता है आपको इस तरह?
Yes, of course. I feel like I'm an Indian representing all Indians here. हम लोग ने देश छोड़ के इधर आए हैं, फिर हमारा मातृभूमि का प्यार नहीं छोड़ दिया। इसलिए जब हम लोग इसको रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं ना, तभी मेरे को लगता है हम इंडिया में हूँ, ये मेरा भारत भूमि है। That's what I feel. Thank you.
प्रदीप, सेम क्वेश्चन आपसे, उसमें थोड़ा सा एंगल लगा देते हैं। जब कोई साहित्य से प्रेम करने वाला होता है तो उसकी जो दृष्टि होती है वो कुछ और सूक्ष्म बातों को भी पकड़ लेती है। सांस्कृतिक रूप से जो भारतीयता का भाव है उसको पहुंचाने के लिए हम और क्या कर सकते हैं? क्योंकि ऐसा कई बार लगता है कि जितनी ज़्यादा समृद्ध हमारी संस्कृति और हमारा साहित्य, हमारी आध्यात्मिक संपदा है, उसका बहुत छोटा सा अंश हम इस तरह के आयोजनों में, जहाँ अन्य देशों का प्रतिनिधित्व भी हो रहा है, पहुंचा पाते हैं। तो और क्या किया जा सकता है?
सबसे पहली बात तो यह है कि हमें अपने युवा को, हम अपने बच्चों को हमें अपनी भाषा सिखानी चाहिए, हमें अपना साहित्य, अपना कल्चर सिखाना चाहिए, और उस सब के लिए ज़िम्मेदारी हमारी है। अगर हम नहीं करेंगे तो वो नहीं सीखेंगे, और उसके लिए ज़रूरी है कि हम बच्चों को हिंदी सिखाएं, उनको अपना रिलीजन सिखाएं, सारा कल्चर सिखाएं, हेरिटेज सिखाएं। और ये काम जो है मंदिरों में होना चाहिए, हमारी एसोसिएशंस में होना चाहिए, और हमारे घरों में होना चाहिए, और हमें गर्व से अपने बच्चों को ये सब सिखाना चाहिए।
तो अब मुझे ऐसा लगता है हम उस जगह पहुंच गए हैं, इन टर्म्स ऑफ द वे थिंग्स आर अनफोल्डिंग इन द वर्ल्ड, दैट वी शुड टेक दिस एज अ सिंसियर responsibility that we owe something to Bharat, and as commitment brings Beena Sabapati ji, Pradeep Tandon ji, others here, most of us who are just sitting at home, we should become active, because there is so much that we can offer, contribute and strengthen those who are actually being here, not just representing India, they are also representing all of us. So congratulations and thanks to you.
अशोक जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका ये करने के लिए।
और अशोक जी, आपके लिए भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
So with the Heramba studio that we have on the YouTube channel, Kripa Ranjan Prasad ji is also helping me today, and as always, so we actually want the world to become a better place, and whichever way we can do our tiny little bit, we try to do. And once again, standing with such committed individuals is also a source of inspiration, and that I bring for you. Thanks for joining us. Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and I have the pleasure of the presence of Jai Prakash Inja Puri ji, who is president of Telugu Literary and Culture Association. But in addition to being someone who takes interest in literature, he is also into sports and all that. Today he receives Asian American Excellence Award. But we also have a lot of other medals that we will be talking about. But let's begin with your association with Telugu Literary and Cultural Association. It was a long one. As president, what would you consider has been your greatest achievement so far?
As a Telugu person, actually the TLCA, that's a Telugu Literary and Cultural Association, is a 51-year-old organization and the first Telugu organization in USA. I'm the current president. As a president, what we do is basically we try to educate more culturally and bring up the Telugu literature and cultural activities in the Telugu community.
If we look at classics in any language, from Telugu language point of view, who you consider is the top author in your mind as far as fiction is concerned?
There are many of them are there. To name some of them, the fiction is basically Nannaya, Tikkana, Erra Pragada, Vemana. There are many poets out there. They have created a great literature in Telugu.
Do you remember any poem, short one from any Telugu poet?
Yes, I do remember some of those. It's been here 24 years in USA.
Any 2 lines, 4 lines?
Yes. Tinaga Tinaga, చేదు తీయనవుతుంది. So that means as you take bitterness every day, little bit, it becomes sweet.
Wow.
So it's depending on the individual how they treat the bitterness and take it every day slowly, it can become a sweetness of this.
So it is perseverance or forbearance or practice. And now let us learn a little bit about the kind of activities that you mount as president of this association.
So we do major activities. We celebrate Sankranti, Ugadi and Diwali celebrations with a lot of cultural activities, and we encourage the kids in USA to learn Telugu, to participate in Telugu cultural activities and understand the culture about Telugu culture. And besides that, we also do literature programs like music, classical dance, classical music, and filmy medley sometimes. But we also concentrate on the literature side, giving the education, small poems for the kids, and teaching Telugu language the kids who are in US.
So I'm kind of tempted to ask you when you mentioned about Telugu culture. I know that as India, we have unity in diversity, and each state has its own cultural flavor. And yet, when we are sitting in America, we talk about Telugu culture, then one is kind of thinking about Indian culture. And when you have your activities, and is that point also somewhere highlighted that this is a part of the complete fabric of India?
Absolutely, you are absolutely correct. We, as a Telugu organization, we focus on more on Telugu, but we have a program that we bring all other cultures, like throughout the Indian communities. We bring them to organize cultural activities with the different languages and with the different activities for all cultures. And once a year or twice a year, we do those kind of programs to bring the Indian culture to the audience in USA.
Wonderful. And now let's talk about this Boston Marathon, man. You have run so many marathons. How that started?
Back in India, I used to run small runs. That's a 5K, 10K. But long back, I think I saw one time the New York Marathon. And at that time, I said, at least if I go to USA, I wanted to run the New York Marathon one time. But it's a long journey to run the first marathon because it's not that easy to get into the marathons. And in 2014, my mother passed away. So on her remembrance, I wanted to run desperately. So I selected a charity organization called Team for Kids, and I raised $3,000 to get the seat into the first marathon, which is a New York Marathon.
Sure. Proud of you.
So that helps the kids. So the first marathon in 2016, this is the New York Marathon medal. When I completed, they gave the medal, this one. And at the time, I said, okay, I ran New York Marathon. That's my goal. But I found out there is something called Abbott Major Marathon, World Major Marathons. Those are the 6 of them. The New York, Chicago, Tokyo, London, Germany, and Boston. So if you complete all of those 6, they will give you a medal, something like this.
Yeah! 6th marathon completed. Jay Prakashji, we are so delighted to be sitting with you about World Marathon majors.
Major.
Wow.
So Abbott has these 6 major marathons. It's not that easy because they are in different countries and there are certain qualifications to get into those things. So 2016 I finished New York, 2017 I finished Chicago, and then 2018 I finished Tokyo and Berlin. And then London, I had to wait for 2 years because of the COVID. 2019 and 2020 there was no London Marathon. It was only virtual. So I had to wait for that. And the last year, 2021, I got into London and I finished that. And the last one, which is the Boston Marathon, which is a 125-year-old marathon. And it's very tough to get into this one. So I partnered with one of the charity organization called 26.2, which helps the kids in the schools and for sports and games. And I raised about $8,600 for the charity. And I got the entry into the Boston. When I finished the Boston Marathon, that's the last one. That's what I got, the 6 star medals. So I am proud to say that as a Telugu individual, I am the first Telugu individual who achieved this 6-star medal.
Is there any other Indian individual that you are aware of?
There are 51 Indians who completed 6, including me. My position was a 48th number. So I'm the 48th Indian to complete all 6 stars.
So on this number 51, I think because the organization that he is leading right now, it's also 51-year-old organization, and there are 51 Indians who have run all these 6 marathons. So Jayaprakash, you have a bright future, and a lot of people would get inspired through your journey and your commitment, dedication, and perseverance. I'm so happy to have met you, sir. Lots of good wishes.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Once again, sitting with Jayaprakash Injapuri ji, President of Telugu Literary and Culture Association. This is Ashok Vyas with my friend cameraman Kripa Ranjan Prasad. Thank you for joining. The way your dad was mentioning about your being independent, and so one way is taking care of yourself physically, another is emotionally. Was there anything that helped you have a stability as far as your emotional equilibrium is concerned? And I'll go back to any book that is favorite, or any spiritual leader or somebody whom you listen frequently.
I don't know if it's a particular thing. I would say it's just the habit of, I don't know, keeping yourself busy. Being a voracious reader helps.
Which books would you say are your favorite books, or any authors?
I like Dostoevsky. In terms of living authors, I like George Saunders. He writes short stories mainly. But yeah, I read a lot of fiction. In terms of like nonfiction, I get it from the news, right? Yeah.
I know, let's talk about your profession, and then we go back to your family and how your mother and father helped you become the kind of person that you are. So professionally speaking, was it challenging to, I don't know, you're working with some company or you started on your own?
No, firm. There's not that many challenges. Everything is pretty streamlined in terms of like wheelchair accessibility. But yeah, and when you're starting out, you don't really argue in front of the courts. Your more experienced attorneys do that. So right now I'm just like writing. So in terms of that, there haven't been many problems.
Very good. And now say something about how your mother helped you in becoming the kind of person that you are.
Oh yeah, she's not able to make it today, but yeah, she was definitely integral. I actually was homeschooled all throughout India. I was born in India, and then I came here when I was about 6, and I didn't actually enroll in a school until about 3rd grade, and I was homeschooled by my mom, who's a teacher. She was a teacher in India, so yeah, a very integral part of my bringing.
Yeah. And what is this Change for Kids organization that you are actively working with?
It's an organization that helps provide after-school activities to underfunded schools. So a lot of schools in New York City, they don't receive adequate public funding, and so they're not able to provide extracurricular programs for a lot of their kids. So what we do is we hire, like, for example, a music teacher and start like an after-school music program.
Yeah. Let me come back to your dad. Ashok ji, he seems to be a very intellectually oriented person, and looks like there is a sense of seriousness, which is not seriousness in that kind, but like, I wanted to ask you, what was the fun part of life as he was growing up, and anything which you consider as a family entertainment or...
Yeah, when he is in his own setting, his own world, like with a group of friends with whom he can interact freely, and of course some cousins and family members, he is fun to watch. It's really great fun. He engages, kids younger than him so much they'll always try to gather around him, like he attracts them. He has some magnetic power, whatever it is. He's a great fun.